Hi there. I'm watching Shaw TV, Channel 4, Saturday morning, and I'm just wondering, has your TV program, Channel 4, been hijacked by some crazed political organization? Freedom for All? I mean, this is not political. This is kind of strange, and I'm just wondering why you've got this Freedom for All thing on TV, public programming. It's really, really strange. Get it off the airline. It's weird. Bye.
I'm a chemtrail guy, and I'll tell you why. Look up in the sky, white streaks flying by. Got the time lapse so I can capture the blast. Here's the proof for the confused noobs. You want a pair of puppets, it's a pie in the sky. It's all water vapor, why would they lie? Little ice crystals hanging out cause it's dry. Dissipate slow so they don't realize. Living in a fog like a bump on a log. Don't you worry, spray text on the dog. Keep your mind closed, not loose on a tether. Which one you like, which proof is better? Dennis Kucinich made a mention. In-house resolution 2977. BC Weather Modification Act got repealed. Kevin Falcone didn't want to keep it real. Modification ain't get northern Alberta. Seeing clouds you never heard of. The UN in Nagoya, Japan. In 2010, they say they put it to an end. What keeps us down in the mainstream mind? Social ridicule, it makes you blind. Tinfoil hat, hop's gonna get you. It's fear-based tactics trying to affect you. Keep your head down while the chem rains down. Speak your mind, you can expect frowns. A strain from planes, it's getting in your veins. Articulate, we're antennae widgets. Transhumanistic, bioelectric physics.
Some sunshine.
Research down to earth. Stop the paralysis, deductive analysis. Test tubes and microbes, information explodes. Fibers and samples, dying plants and animals. Biotechno robot, nano cannibals. Electro controllers, symbio parasites. Remote control robot, UAV flies. Implant the chips, pollinating our brains with an information drip that's so sick, it's way up in the sky. Why bother question? Breathe it in some more. You'll learn some lessons, bad for your health. The whole world knows, simply not question. We do what we're told. If the elites want to kill us all, they be killing themselves. Having a ball, they will but they won't. They got an antidote. Living underground, technologies to cope. How you like that? What you won? Looking back now, some things they could have done. Diet mending, bioelectric cleansing. Living your life, tracking and trending. It's the information and complete control grid. It's what it's about, it's the way we live. Trying to have a rational conversation. All I end up with is mind manipulation. When we're living in a futuristic nation of tracking and tracing and techno celebration. Take a thought for a minute as we take it to the limit. A testament to the human spirit. Is it inherent? Is it to be timid? Or to ask questions, reach wisdom, discernment?
All I need is some sunshine.
Forever hidden switches and levers. You think these wise guys don't modify weather? Dropping like flies, denying the weapons while they're flying by, widening the heavens. Spraying white streaks means sunshine's decreased. Why are they depriving me of vitamin D? Geo-engineer the planet and life in the seas, coming from the government and corporate thieves. Politicians won't talk about the toxins in the air we're breathing, taking it in. The whole planet's living like a human aquarium, spraying us with this aluminum and barium. Perps out there, controlling the weather. Chemtrail police patrolling forever.
Welcome to Freedom Free for All, the show that pokes the New World Order and is all seeing eyes. Let me close that thing. Here we go. And yeah, as you see, I got all my protection against all you fine people. Maybe you're gonna not hear me so well. Besides, you can't breathe with that stuff, and you can't feel the sunshine. So let me remove that shit. All right, so more seriously, welcome to Freedom Free for All. Yeah, the show pokes the New World Order, and personally, I kick them in their ass. Today and this week and tonight, I'd like to take a moment to welcome all of you to watch and share this presentation. It's a pre-recording. This is my first time hosting Freedom Free for All. I even shaved for the occasion, and as you see, I cut myself. Oh, the camera's inverted. So yeah, I'm earthing myself to present this show tonight, and I hope I will not hurt you with my French accent. Yeah, I do have a French accent. I got good news for you though. It's not contagious, so don't worry about it. You will not be caught with a French accent after this show. And the other good news is when I speak in French, which is my common language, I also have a strong French accent. So that being out of the way, I'd like also to take a moment to say thank you very much to all the people throughout the year of the existence, sorry, of Freedom Free for All. The people that have hosted the show, Josh, Paul, Adam. Thank you very much. And now it is my turn. Thank you for the trust that you've put into me. I will try not to screw it up. In fact, I will not screw it up. Even though this will be improvisation, I will do this alone. It's going to be all over the place today, based on the all the research and the discovery that I've done throughout the year. I don't have anything scripted. I don't have any guests. I'm certainly not going to waste my time and your time by reading the news that comes from the propaganda mainstream outlet and get lost in their fake and false news and narrative. Yeah, so I'm not going to do that. But I'd also like to take a moment to say thank you to everyone that have watched the show throughout the year and that have stuck with Freedom Free for All through all the fucking shit. And also a moment to say thank you to all the guests that this show has brought onto the public eye, like Dr. Tim Ball and Max Higgin and Dean Clifford. Um, Especially Dean Clifford. He has made a strong impression on me. Lots of research, a lot of quality stuff. He is not in the public sphere anymore. His last time that I've listened to, or the last time that I've listened to him, he said something that still resonates into my mind to this day. He said something along these lines. Well, fuck him. Let's do our own society. And I have done just that for those who know me, so let me introduce myself. For those who don't, I go by the scream name of Abitibi in the Freedom Free for All chat and elsewhere on the internet. My public name goes by Jeff Fortin, Fortin, for those who wants the spelling of it. Um, I'm a retired Royal Canadian Navy sailor. I served in beautiful Victoria, or rather Esquimalt, which is where the Naden CFB, so Canadian Forces Base, is located. I was posted on HMCS Regina back then. That was some decade ago. Unfortunately, during my military service, I got hurt and kicked out ultimately for medical reason. Um, so here I am because of all that free time that the retirement position has given to me. I started digging into law. I don't do politics. I do law a lot. I've studied all textbook of law that was available to me that I could put my hands or eyes on throughout the year on justice.gc.ca, which is the so-called federal government website for justice. There is a huge list of publicated law, and I found out one thing by reading all the texts that have been published there twice, by the way, if not three times for some. There is no law. That's the first thing. There is no law for the human. Human have only one law to abide by. It's very easy. It's a natural law. It's do no harm. Whatever is written in the textbook provided by the clown that thinks they are the government does not apply to human people. Of course, there's been, and getting back to Dean Clifford, which I was talking about a moment ago, he studied it as well. Many people have found out that there is a difference between the person and the human, and there is, it's true. A person is a non-living entity. It's basically a corporation or a paper in certain case, but it all related. A person is all related to commerce law, and it only implicate those who are involved in commerce. That being said, as a human, I may go to the grocery store and buy some furniture at any other outlet. This is not commerce. This type of business, because it still is business, is done for my sole survival. So to be implicated in commerce means that you buy stuff in the purpose of reselling it. Well, some people don't make profit, but usually the idea is to make profit. So this englobe the person and the corporation alike. Humans truly, that is why humans don't have any rights. If you claim a rights, you are already wrong. Rights is a terminology for business only, not for human. Humans do have freedom, and even if those freedom are not written down on a piece of paper, they still apply, they still are valid, they still are true. It doesn't matter if a entity, whatever it is, write it down or not, they are still there for you to use. And if you choose not to use those freedom, well, don't be surprised that you end up being a slave. So I was thinking today about naming the show Slavery or Freedom, Your Choice. So let's start by reading you an excerpt from a book that I am currently reading, written by, well, I guess, an intelligent man called James True. I don't know if that is his real name, but no matter what is written down in these books makes a lot of sense and resonate through my mind and art. This is the book by James True. The Technology of Belief is the title. Is there an ISBN number that I can? Yeah, ISBN number 978-169-718-1289. See, it seems it was published in 2019, so that's fairly recent. And let me read page 27th, chapter 8, black male and white male. So here we go. It's half a paragraph, half a page, sorry, two paragraphs. Hard work these days is finding an effective way to tell someone something they don't want to hear. Some question why we would even bother. It's a good question. Who wants to ruin someone's day? Even the answer is selfish. We do it for our sanity. We need the environment to reflect our understanding, or else it causes pain. An allergy for dissonance has developed. The year of pretending the inside and outside could disagree are over. The game of pretending is insulting to everyone involved. Still, many need hero more than they need the truth. The truth. I believe movement exists today inside the truth movement. Many are anger when you point this out. You can see why they conscript the truth. They are doing it to survive. People will tear you apart for telling them what they don't want to hear. These people don't want truth as much as they want a narrative resolve. But if narrative were truth, we would need to call them narrative. So I hope you understand the same thing as I do, which seems very simple. We need to get rid of the narrative, and one of this part is that there will be no white knight that will ever arise to come and save you. Anybody who seeks and want power should not get it. Uh, because they're going to abuse of it. I think the best people to be leader are the one who don't want to be leader and who don't think that they have the capacity to be leader. And leading what? That is the question. Leading the other people in terms of telling them what to do. Well, honestly, on a personal basis, I hate to being told what to do. I prefer to have my freedom to even do some mistake instead of having someone to come and tell me that's not the way you do things. Well, why don't you let me experience? And if I do wrong, well, I will learn from it and I will start again, whatever that is. I didn't become a good reader because someone else has told me how to read. No, I became a good reader because I have practice at it. And when I first started reading, well, of course, I was making mistakes. Same thing for writing. Same thing for everything. How can I analyze properly a situation today if I've never been wrong in my analysis, or in fact, if I've never made an analysis of anything? That is that is called experience, and experience can, of course, be shown to the younger by the elderly. But today, this is something that we don't even think about. I mean, we park our older people into sanitarium and they're off to die, and all of what they've learned is passed down to nobody. Now, nobody can get the experience that they have because it's their own, but the knowledge could be passed down. And this is where humanity has made a huge mistake. Lots of knowledge that we've built out throughout the history, whether true or false, it doesn't matter at this point. But most of the knowledge for basic survival has been forgotten today. Today, basic survival involve going to the grocery store, and that's pretty much it. Nobody now, or most people now, cannot grow their own garden. They don't know even how to plant a carrot. Um and if we follow this string of thought, all the technology that mankind have used to survive easily throughout the millennium and the century and the decades is now gone. Today we rely on tractor in a foreign land, by the way, to grow our food for us, and we rely on a long line of truck to deliver just in time the stuff that we think that we need. Well, most of the stuff that which is provided by the grocery and other type of outlet, first, we don't need them. Lots of things. I don't care if there's banana delivered or not to the grocery store. Does it grow here is what matters. Can I plant a carrot or potato? Even for myself, I'm not judging anybody by saying that. Outside of myself, I can't do it. I don't have that knowledge. So how could I ever get the experience and even make mistakes about it because I don't have the experience? So we've lost lots of stuff in terms of general education, family, which has been a huge chunk, farming, which is now being replaced by agriculture. That's one of the thing, but also how to repair and maintain and even create clothing out of sheeps and wool and then whatnot animal which are in your area. House building, house building. That's something we should all know. When I was in high school, I thought one of the first thing, why aren't they showing me stuff that I really need? like house building. And I'm not necessarily thinking about building a house from scratch and bring it all the way to the roof, but maintaining a house, how to fix a wall, how to check out electric outlets, and making and wiring a house, or stuff like that. No, none of that has been passed down. The real knowledge is not passed down to us, so we're lacking the knowledge because we forgot as a race, and then therefore we don't get the experience. Really, honestly, I've been living in a house all my life outside from my year in barracks when I was military, but I don't know anything about a house. I can't fix a window, I can't fix a gutter, I can't repair the shingle on the roof. I can't do anything. And I cannot even blame my father for it because even him didn't knew about it. So uh, we need to take a step back as a race. First, stop the lie, which, just to close the full circle, no hero is going to come and save us. Stop the lies, take a step back, start thinking about what's really important, what we really want, and how can we go forward from there. There was a time in history not so long ago between the 1840 and the 1800 and let's say roughly 70, so that's about 30 years, where humanity was really at its peak of knowledge and self-sustainability, and in terms of everything else: knowledge, population, education, family, family matter, even cooking and preservations of stuff. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened at the end of that century. People started thinking that technology would save us, would save them, because I wasn't there, and that they could make a living off someone else's back, i.e., money making money. For a long, and now let's dive into that money thing and commerce. That is how they all brought us into commerce, because of the love of money. Most people would prefer to get a check sitting on their ass than and then with this money they can go buy a grocery, and thus having slave in foreign country, because the people who plant bananas and kiwis and oranges, they're slaves, they're slave labor. Then learning how to plant their own strawberry. Oh, I prefer to go to the grocery store. I'll get oranges. So that is insanity, my friends who are listening to that. We need to stop the insanity. And it's unfortunate that so many will have to end up paying with their blood the insanity and the slavery that we've been living on. Because one of the things that I've studied the most is the economics. And I've learned one thing: each time mankind has used a printing press, the economic system that was linked to that printing press, and it's been happening several times, this is nothing new, uh, it always ended up um, asking repayment in blood, because those money piles, which are worthless. And it always ended up the same way, from the failed Republic of Rome to the failed Republic of France, and to every other places that used that system requested their repayment in blood, all the way through the Second World War. And because that's how, by the way, if you don't know, Germany got that supposedly between 1932 and 45, got that economic miracle. No, they've used the printing press, and that's how they were able to build an army. And we all know, well, I say that, but history's for fool, how it ended up. Many people died during Second World War. According to the official figures, some 60 million people die, including 12 million German. And yet all that is reminded to us every year is, oh my God, the Holocaust, 6 million Jews. Well, the Holocaust, 6 million Jews, okay. I disagree or I agree, I don't care about that. But how about 19 million Russian? Whoever speak about the Holocaust of Russian? No one. Instead, we prefer to remember how the Americans were great, and no offense to any American, how they won the war. That's not true. That's not true. The Russian won the war. The Russian crushed the German army, and it costed them a lot. So we got to stop with the lie. This is where your freedom will rise up. That if you refuse to swallow any more lies and start talking the truth based on fact, will be a help, but it's not the ultimate solution. You got to live it into your art. That's where the problem is, and I'm fairly certain that most people who watch Freedom Free for All, they're already on the good path, even though they got to deconstruct still some of what they thought they knew, because it was all lie from the very beginning. Education today is a lie. TV has never said a word of truth if it wasn't wrapped up around a bunch of lie. They did say some truth, but what is true, what is a lie? That's the question. We cannot part it anymore. So based on the fact that we cannot part it, you got to think that everything that has been thrown to you on TV is now a lie, and it's not an assumption. If they wrap a little bit of true around a bunch of lie, well, the majority prevail. So, and we can doubt everything based on the fact that if they lied once, what hold them from lying about everything else? I mean, some people today question the moon landing. Some question arise about that when you check out the fact that we don't have a single photo from outer space. From, and today, apparently, there's something like 25,000 satellites orbiting the Earth. And someone will try to make me think that all these 25,000 satellites are not capable of taking one single picture. No, everything that has been shown to us by NASA and other space agency, which is not much, is artificial. So how do we step back to be able to dive further into the future? Is certainly not by relying on any piece of technology. I was just stating satellite a moment ago. Satellite will never save us. TV will never save us. In fact, no technology has ever saved anybody. Every pieces of technology, even though it may at the first sight look positive, is always negative. It's always a trap. It's always enslaving those who are using it. So we gotta stop, and it's certainly not the reason why I'm saying that. It's certainly not the internet, which I am using to communicate to you today, that will save anybody. In fact, if you listen to the word, if you look at the etymology of internet, of course, inter is between, and net is a net. It's a web. It's meant to trap you. So I'm using it because in the surrounding area where I am, most people are programmed to not listen to the truth, as they say, as James Truth has said into this book. I cannot speak to those people, even if I waste all my breath and then saliva talking to them from here to eternity. They're not listening. They're NPCs. They're zombie. It's too late for them. So I have to use this mean where other people who think alike. So you who are watching this broadcast may find some echo in what I am saying. And then it's up to you, based on your local experience and the learning that I'm teaching you today, or the knowledge that I'm passing on to you, resonates so hard that you say one word of two letter, no. This is where we are, people. This is the way out. This is the white knight that you're looking for, yourself. Go grab a mirror and practice to say no. Oh, you still have the freedom to say yes. But the only reason the freedom to say yes exists is because you have the power to say no. So you think that something is insane and making no sense? Well, you got to say no. And whatever that is, whether it's medication, for some it may be vaccination, for some it may be education for their kids, uh, whatever is presented to you in life, you do have the freedom to say no because you have the power to say yes. So I've just reversed it because it works both way. Evil would not exist if you didn't have the possibility to be good, and vice versa. So the world will not be destroyed by evil people. It will be destroyed by the good people looking at them and letting them do it, just saying nothing. Just like in the court of law, if you say nothing, you agree to what they are doing to you right now. I know because I've been in court of law many, many, many times, too, in fact, way too many times. And I know one thing, and I point at them each time I go there. Everything that you're telling me, every law that you're trying to shove onto me, they're written in your book. Yes, yes. Okay, so we agree on something right now. And I know, because I'm not ignoring the law, in fact, I know the law, it doesn't apply to me. So why are we wasting everybody's time here? Well, in my case, I didn't really care because I had nothing better to do. So each time I showed up in court, I created the best free show in town for that day. And even though I'm the only spectator of my show, which is not true, by the way, the many times that I went to court, many people came and saw, but I never lost in front of them. The times that they found me guilty or convicted, I knew one thing. They were convicting a piece of paper. I was not involved into that. I never felt any consequences, even winning or losing in front of them. To me, the end result was the same. It doesn't apply to me. So when I went there and I crushed them, I had a little smile and I felt good. When I went there and they ended up punishing me, well, I had a little smile and I felt good. I didn't care. It was an experience that life was throwing at me, and I acknowledged it. I lived it. I had nothing better to do. And today, well, I can speak to you freely about it. And last time I was in court was 3 years ago, and they, I think they've understand the position where I was, and they since learned not to bother me anymore. I am free, and fuck you. Oh, let me adjust the camera. And that's how it's ending up for me. I've not heard from them in 3 years, even though they've tried everything prior to that. The book, the criminal code, they've tried absolutely everything on me, and it failed miserably. So if it's good for me that the law doesn't apply to me, because I'm not involved in commerce, remember it's all linked to that. The day I'll be involved in commerce, I'll have a completely different way of saying things. But right now, I'm a free human, not involved in commerce. None of that applies to me, and I have no rights. So it comes with it. I have no right. I know I don't. It's in the book of law. It's in their system. It's in their commercial UCC bullshit, and I'm not under that code. I am under natural law, and it's so simple, it's mind-boggling. Do no harm. As long as I don't do any, and it, by the way, it needs to be do no harm. It needs to be volunteer, planned. I mean, and here's a good example. I could be driving with my car during the summer. If I see a cat crossing the street and I step on the gas and I finally kill the poor animal, I am guilty of doing harm. But let's take the same scenario. I'm driving my car, it's minus 45, it's midnight, and there's black ice, and a cat, well, intelligent cat don't cross the street at midnight at minus 45. But anyway, I step on the brake, the car don't stop, I kill the poor animal. I am not guilty of doing any harm. It was an accident. So they can judge me all I want. It was an accident. Um, so, there's a partition to make because a true criminal needs to plan his crime, and it works the same. Let's take another example. Intention are non-punishable. They're trying hard to bring it to their criminal bullshit in court that they can punish intention, but the fact is, in the true do no harm reflection of law, it is not punishable. I could sit with 7 of my friends. We're all dressed up in camo with face mask and an arsenal from here to eternity with the intention of attacking the next cargo of gold truck or truck of gold that is about to go by. The truck engine has blew out 10 kilometer before reaching us, and it never come through. Therefore, we never attack it. Technically speaking, in the system that we are now, they're trying to make the intention punishable. But the fact is, we never attacked that truck. Nobody has been armed in the scenario that I've just made up. Therefore, nothing has happened. If there's no victim, there's no prejudice. If there's no prejudice, there's no trial. And if, of course, there's no trial, there's no guilty party. But they are trying hard. I have a friend. His name is Sebastian. Well, it's not a friend. It's someone I know. So it's not someone I share a relation on an everyday basis. But I have a someone I know called Sébastien Théodore. He was in Quebec, in Montreal actually, but in the province of Quebec or the national state of Quebec as I call it. And the Montreal police have started a hot pursuit behind him, and the poor guy was driving 30 kilometers, so it was not really a hot pursuit. But at one point in the pursuit, he made a stop because there was a stop sign, and they draw their gun, pointed at him, start smashing their window with their ass baton, and made a mess about his car. He panicked, and then he ran away. A few kilometers later, they tried to pit maneuver him, and that miserably failed. So much so that the cop car, the squad car, the whatever car vehicle they were using, uh, lost control, up over the curb, and ran over a poor woman that was plowing the snow in her alleyway. And they tried to put the responsibility on the back of Sébastien Théodore. Well, that failed miserably because Sébastien is in the same state of mind that I am, and he's not going to take responsibility for something he's not responsible of. And he did not do harm intentionally. He got scared. The burden of the cause is on the back of the one who created harm to begin with by smashing his window and scaring him with guns drawn and pointing at him. That where the harm was caused. After that, Sebastien is not responsible of anything, and they even went so far as saying that he ran over the poor lady. Thank God and whatever you believe in, she is okay today. She was not killed. She was badly injured, but she survived, and even so much so that at the end, she would not even believe or trust the cops who went to Sebastian's trial and tried to put the guilty burden or the burden of being guilty on him. Even her turned her back on the police saying, "You ran me over. You got to answer for what you were doing." And therefore, my friend was not punished. The only thing he was found guilty of in the end was reckless driving. And that, unfortunately for him, was true. He was driving down the wrong way on a one-way street. Therefore, he didn't do the stop sign. He ran a couple of red lights. He still have done that. So that was the only thing. And his only consequences, even though they kept him during the trial for over a year in jail, it was to set an example. Don't be too free because you're going to be ending up in jail. But just to keep on going, he was only found out of reckless driving, $1,000 fine, and 1 year of or 12 months of driving's license suspension. Which brings me to the case of driver's license. If you think you need a driver's license, unless you're involved in commerce once again, think again. Because it's not true. And it's not because everybody's doing it that you need to do as everybody. Everybody could be wrong. And in this case, driver's license is a commercial effect that you pay for, but the truth is you don't need a driver's license. If you're involved in commerce, it's a completely different story. I'm not really talking about that, and I see there's a sun ray coming out. It's a beautiful day today, but I had to shut the blind in order to keep a steady light. Otherwise, it would have been a little mess on this camera. Now, I'm not going to make that last very very long because it's mainly a rant uh, for a single person or human. Even you see, even I do the mistakes sometimes. It's confusing when because I'm no different than all of you fine people watching this show. I've been lied to, starting at the youngest age by saying, "Oh, Santa Claus bring the present." No, Santa Claus doesn't fucking bring the present. He's a fictional character, and if he was a real character, a man in a red suit living in the North Pole, well, I think he would need to make a quick visit at the nearest insane asylum. Because who do you think you are, coming out through from people's chimney and dropping trash on their floors? So let's stop with the lies. And some of them lies are those holiday that we get thrown at every year, and we teach our children, and I don't have any, but in general, and I'm not pointing at anybody, I'm not here to judge anyone, but we bring them to the mall every year. Oh, here's Santa Claus. You want to have a picture with Santa Claus? Santa's gonna bring the present. No, fuck it. Even Canada Post is in the fucking Oaks. Oh, write to Santa Claus. He's gonna answer to you. And they even invented a postal code. Well, North Pole belongs to Canada, and if Santa Claus is real, if he's real, let's tax him. And if he can pay the tax, he'll end up in jail. Because he's a citizen like anybody else. Fucking pay your tax, buddy. So, enough of this rant about Santa Claus. I don't want to break anybody's magic. But in my case, as an experience, I was very young, probably between 4 and 6. I don't quite remember everything because I was too young to remember everything. But my parents thought it was a good idea at this all specific holiday that I'm about to speak about, to bring me to Haiti, the poorest country of North America, on the island of Santo Domingo, if I remember correctly. And we went through custom, and the custom officer in this country, in Port-au-Prince, he insisted about going through our luggage. Well, I was 6. And my parent tried to pull me apart because of the spirit of Christmas, but I had a glimpse from the corner of my eyes, and I saw the wrapping, and I saw the custom officer opening the wrapping, and I saw my Christmas gift. Now, a few weeks later, maybe 10 days later, we went for the Christmas party, and lo and behold, Santa was black. That doesn't compute into my mind. I've always seen, up to that point in my life, Santa was a white man with a white beard, white skinned guy. And now all of a sudden he was black. So I've understood one thing: here's a hoax. And I'm not going to fall for it anymore. So I said to my parents, Santa doesn't exist, isn't it? You're the one offering the gift. Oh, no, no, Santa offering the. Hey, don't lie to me. I may be 6 years old, but I'm old enough to understand that something does not compute between a white skinned guy and a black skinned guy. And besides, I saw the gift at the airport. So from that point on, and a year later or so, going into school, I started questioning everything that was thrown at me. Everything. So I was from a very young age exposed to a lie, which I didn't swallow. And I said to myself, I'm not going to swallow any lie, ever. They may try, and I'll look at them, but I'll laugh at them. So here is why today I can conclude firmly with experience: law doesn't apply to human. Therefore, whatever they write in their stupid book doesn't apply to me at all. The Constitution doesn't apply to me. The criminal code doesn't apply to me. The whatever, whatever. The law on fishery, the custom law, whatever. Even the chemtrail law does exist, by the way, and it doesn't apply to me. I'm not involved into commerce whatsoever. So as long as I can say no, I am a free man. You're not going to make me believe that your bullshit is real. It's impossible. It doesn't compute. It doesn't work. So now it's up to you to either through experience learn it the hard way, because I be honest with you, even if I had fun in those court and in front of about I probably got arrested 200 times in my life, to say the least, and that would be a bottom number. But each time I walked out of there free, but it was hard. It was hard. I've doubt. I've cried. I've been scared. I've been beaten physically. I've been lied to. I've been entrapped. But today, after all of this experience, the hard way, I know I am free. And whatever they do to me, there's only one way out of this life, and it's death. That's the only certainty that we all share in common, which brings me to the actual insanity virus which is running around right now. People may be free to believe whatever lie they want, but I'm not swallowing that one more than anyone else, than anything else. TV has lied to us, media in general has lied to us, government lied to us. So there's a bunch of liar will, even if they tell the truth, will I believe them? No. So if they're reacting so hard, that makes me doubt every action that they're doing. But the good thing for me, at least, is that in the village where I live, by the way, I live in British Columbia, in the Peace River Valley, in the village where I live, on this close location, insanity is just at the grocery store. And even them, after what, 5, 6, 7 weeks of that bullshit going around, they don't care about it anymore. They do as they are told because they're working there, therefore they're involved in commerce, they have to obey. But I see it in their eyes and in their art that they're tired of the bullshit. The neighbor here surrounding my house, they are free people, not involved in commerce. Well, I'll tell you honestly, they don't give a fuck. They really don't. I had a gentleman coming into my place the other day because I needed my snowblower to be fixed, and he brought his 6-year-old, and we stand next to each other. I shook his hand. I don't give a fuck either. Besides, there's no recorded case in this village. There's no recorded case in this region, and the region is 25,000 square kilometers. It's all just hoax. And maybe the virus is real. I'm not questioning that because I have no proof of the opposite. But I know that the measure that they force the population to go through is a hoax. Why shut the school in a village like this one? There's no case. So if I don't have something, I can't give it to you. Whether it's money, whether it's knowledge, whether it's a virus, I can't give it to you. I don't have it. So why should I be punished? Why should I be on house arrest? Well, first, I'm not, because I am who I am, and most people in my village follow the same thing. We are not really on house arrest. But in my case, it doesn't change anything. Since I've been kicked out of the military for medical reason, I don't really go out from my house ever, but once a month for grocery supplies. So it doesn't apply to me, but I do see it in the surrounding. Other people are, which lives in other or urban district or other rural district of Canada, they do see it. But they also realize the same thing as I do. And I was talking to a friend of mine no later than right before this recording, and she said that at her own grocery store in the village where she lives, 3 weeks ago they were completely crazy, spraying people with bleach and whatnot, and having three little power hungry bastard at the entrance filtrating people and making sure that everybody was social distancing. Well, now today they've disappeared, and nothing is going to ever be said about that anymore because we didn't need them in the first place. They only accepted to participate in the hoax. Why do you need to isolate perfectly healthy person who doesn't have something? Or sorry for the word person, a perfectly healthy human who doesn't have something. Once again, if I don't have something, I cannot give it to you. So why would a neighbor be afraid of me? Oh, you're gonna give me the stupid fear virus. Well, no, you're gonna get it yourself because you're a fucking zombie who believed a lie. Well, belief are usually contrary of knowledge, but they are always contrary of facts. You may be free to believe what you want. Now prove it to me. Give me the cold hard fact. Snow is cold. Yeah, because I can take it in my hand and I feel the cold. So there's lots of things that I could be saying to correct the situation for the lie that one after the other, whether it's from the Rothschild, which are really named Bauer, or George Soros, which is engaged in paying for protests. Well, his real name is Schwartz. So let's start blowing the lies, but I cannot do it for you. So if you want the easy way, to just to finish the thought that I was engaged on, you can use the hard way, like I did, go to court and all these lies and read all their books and listen to all their fake story, or the easy way, as a principle of life, everything that I've been taught that I cannot verify by myself is a lie. So TV, newspaper, radio, name it, fuck book, you know, it's a lie. Even if it comes from a source that you've seen into the past, someone in a foreign city that you've been following on YouTube and on Facebook. So basically, don't listen to me or what I'm saying. Don't take it as cash. Verify it for yourself. But if you want to take the shortcut, start right now by, as a principle, everything is a lie. Even what I'm saying. Don't. I'm not asking for trust. Trust is not something that can be given right away. It needs to be earned. And here's the perfect example. It took me 3 year, and 3 appearance on Freedom Free For All as a guest. And all of a sudden, after I've earned the trust, Adam has entrusted me to run the show tonight, to be presented to you. Now, I'm going to try to keep it at exactly an hour. We've been recording 51 minutes. But yeah, I want to show you a second book before we end. And if you don't believe me, well, I got the book, so I can hit it on my desk. But here it is, Modern Legal Usage. This is what we are involved in. Commerce. The language that is used in commerce is not English, or in my case, French. It is legalese. Therefore, that's why they need a dictionary, which is not the common English dictionary. All the words that are in there have a different meaning than the one that you've been taught or the definition that is in the dictionary. So we need to self-correct the language. So yes, when I said a moment ago everything is a lie, well, language is a lie. So let's correct that. We are all one race with basically most of the people with two eyes, one nose, one mouth, two ears, two arms, two legs, and it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, because that's part of divide and conquer, which is part of the art of war, which is how you win a war. So let's stop being divided, even if the person in front of you have a different belief. And that's as an experience, when I went to court or spoken to a police officer, I knew they had a different belief than me. I didn't treat them as the enemy. I had pity for them that they believed a lie, yes, but I tried to correct the situation in which I was personally involved. And this is why I went to those court. Because remember, I know the law doesn't apply to me. I should have cut it straight away. It doesn't apply to me. I'm not showing up. No, quite the opposite. I want to be the one who's running the show today. I'm going to come and make you a teaching. Either you learn from it or you keep on believing the lie that you've been in your life, all of it. But as long as I am not armed at the end of it, we're going to part way, good friend, and I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to go have a coffee or a beer with my friends here, and we're going to laugh about you. And that's exactly how it always ended up. Even when, like I said, when I lost, because most of the case that I've been thrown into, I've won, including the case at the Supreme Court and at the grand jury in 2015, but also in my personal life. But yes, there are two instances, if not three, no, two instances, three, two. It doesn't matter the number, where technically when you read their judgment, I've lost. But the question you have to ask, what have you lost? Well, not my freedom. And that's all that really matters. That's the only thing important enough to die for. I'm not in jail, even though they fined me a couple of times. What do I care about fines? I don't give a freaking fuck about fines. If I'd be working, maybe it'd be a different story, because then they would have taken something out of me, my energy. But since I'm retired from the military, it's all you good folks. Well, that's the lie again, but I'm not going to really lie to you. Technically speaking, it's all you good folks who pay taxes that pays me. But in reality, money is printed out of thin air, and the check that I get as a veteran every month doesn't come from your pocket. It comes from their fucking ledgers, and they just added on to it. So I've not lost anything because each time they find me, technically speaking, they find Ottawa, Ottawa, Ottawa. So the federal government paid for every fine that I've had. Fortunately, I'm a good uh, speaker, and I think the biggest fine I ever had was $444, which is not a very big amount in reality, but it would have been above that amount. So I took it from my pocket money. I didn't went and cry to Ottawa for more money. But if they did, let's presume for a moment, find me for two, three, $4,000, then I would have gone to Veterans Affairs. I would have pleaded my case there, saying, well, the stupid freaking illegal court below down the street here, they're stolen $4,000 from me. So now I'll take your emergency check, and I would have taken more from the slush fund that belongs to everyone. But yeah, like the biggest fine was $444. So, I bought less coffee, I put a little less gas in my car, or I didn't buy sneakers or chocolate bars that month, and I was okay. So I'm not someone who profits from this system. And as long as I was saying a moment ago that they did not take any freedom off me, that was not a problem. So let me resume all of what I've ranted about today. Law doesn't apply to you. Courts are kangaroo court. They are illegal entity unless you're involved in commerce. But they don't have the capacity to judge humans, even in criminal court. All the permits that you think that are mandatory to you and that you're obligated, it's not true. It's part of the lie. All the information outlet are not informing you. They are deceptive entities. All they do is lie, and even if they throw a couple of truth to wrap up the lies, it's the lies in general. So, and we need a serious change of art and a serious thinking in our way of living. We cannot return to what is called normality, because normality right now is insanity. So all the people who cry, I want to go back to work because then I can pay my mortgage, is all a fucking lie. Your job is useless. The mortgage was invented. The bank never put any money on the table. Fraud nullify each and every contract. But the fraud can go on for as long as you accept it. The day you say no, there goes the fraud. There goes any paper that has your signature. Then the other factor, we need to correct the language, speak properly with the proper definition of word that we all agree on. That means what's contained in the usual dictionary, not this bullshit. I've put it a tag. I wanted to read something, but I feel like not really reading it because you can see the amount of lie. Well, maybe I should read it. Page 485 in this book. The word is right, righteous, and rightful. Right means correct, proper, just. See the lie here? Because it's not. So even their book and their own definition is deceptive. Once again, you have no rights. You have freedom. If you don't defend it, you don't have freedom more than you have right. If you claim right, you are wrong. It's unfortunate. It's like that. And I'm gonna close it. There's still 2 minutes left before the hour. with a story from my place. By now, you know me, Frenchie. I was probably born in Quebec. Well, Quebec is known as a province of Canada. That's a lie. Quebec is an independent state since 1968. They have not abided by the Constitution. To camouflage the coup d'etat that they have made in Canada, they have taken control of the House of Commons through the various party of interest, which are illegal. No election at whatever level that is, whether it's municipal, federal, provincial, is legal since 1968 at the very least, but probably way before. I can prove it, but I'm going to try to keep it short. Um, they have placed their pawns, namely lawyers and judge, in every province. They got rid of common law to replace it by the UCC or commercial law. None of it applied to you. We, the good people of Canada, and I'm also including myself, need to take it back from those crooks because everything that they've done is illegal. The fraud need to stop. They don't have the right. There's no right, but they don't have any mean of ordering you what to do. And I warn you, with great freedom comes great responsibility. It's not because you claim yourself as free that you can all of a sudden go and steal from the neighbor's pantry. No, do no harm is the law that applies to you. If you want food, grow it or exchange it. I'm gonna clean up your gutter for an exchange of a bag of carrots. That's an honest deal with no fraud. Well, if you think that's honest and the other party agrees. Um, all of that being said, be free, be safe. Once again, I'd like to thank you. This is my first broadcast at Freedom Free for All. If I happen to make any other, I don't know. I'm replacing Adam, which has other business to attend this week. Business. Anyway, I am honored to be part of the Freedom Free for All family. But outside of that, I am honored to be free. I will die free. I will not die as a slave. Meanwhile, I don't have the right. I have no right to employ slave of my own. So that implicates that I don't buy bullshit from China or a T-shirt from Bangladesh or bananas from Colombia or wherever banana grows. Uh, I'm cutting as much as I can those chain of slavery in any way, shape, or form. There is still some which area which I'm weak, including coffee. So I do have a couple of Colombian slaves, but it says equitable on the bag. Is it true? No, because advertisement in Spanish is written propaganda. Um, so I realized they're there. I thank them for the service that they're giving me. I'm trying with my action to teach other people with the knowledge that I've got, but I urge you not to trust me, but to make your own experience. If you want to cut the crap and take the shortcut I've offered you, well, thank you very much. I am not the only one who has tried to do that. Although, as I was saying, to close the circle, the good people at Freedom Free for All has done that for you over the year. Um, on my name, under my name and the Freedom Free for All family, thank you very much for being here. I hope you are free. Actually, I don't really have hope, but that's the best word I can come up with to close this show. Because if the people surrounding me are all prisoner, I cannot really claim I am free. Fortunately, you are there, so I realize I'm not the only one that doesn't wish to be a zombie. So we have a chance if we all work together to take it back and make it happen. I will not let evil and bad people come into my life and wreck it. I will defend freedom. That's why I signed as a military. I would have done just that, not to enslave people. And if superior back then would have told me you're going to take a gun and go patrol the street and arrest citizens, I would have said to him that's an unlawful order. You can stick it up your ass, and I'm going to see you tonight in the military jail. Either I would have arrested him, or I would have been arrested by the MP. But that's well into your power. Every power that the so-called government, which is fake and lying, and the criminal organization claim they have, they're yours to begin with. So power of arrest, yours. Power of trial, yours. So I've done a grand jury in 2015. Now you can do it too, without the approbation of anybody. The land is yours. The choice is yours between freedom and slavery. And the white knight, if he does exist, is in your own heart and nowhere else. Heart, sorry. Um, That's where you'll find it. If you're looking for an external solution, you will never, ever find it. And if you're looking or waiting for a hero to come about and save you, that ain't it ever, ever, never, ever, never going to happen. I cannot save you. I will certainly never do anything that will involve saving you. I'd be lucky if I saved my own self. But I can transmit one thing, it's my knowledge and experience. I was about to put back the mask, but yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, uh, official military gear, completely useless. There's no case in this area. And now the show's over. You don't speak better French than I do, and you don't have the accent unless you're joking. So thank you very much. Be free, be safe, and we'll see you when we see you. Thanks for watching.